Well, it is November 2, and this is the vegetable garden. It's kind of on the ball this year. You might be interested to know. Underneath the pansies, there are a lot. I think I got around 250 tulip and daffodil mixed bulbs, and then the pansies are growing pretty good. And then I've got some actual curly kale that we can enjoy. And look at this bed looking happy. And I moved some herbs over here. However, I think I'm going to do a small wood frame out in front of the vegetable garden and have these herbs out there. I might probably leave the rosemary, however. There's a little blueberry. The boxwoods are starting to get up to the fence line. I'm wanting them to go through, and they're gonna just become part of the fence. So you won't even see the fence. Keeps the bunnies out. The fence goes down, it's like 30 inches total. This is 24 inches, and then it goes out 6. So it keeps the bunnies from digging under. And then the second bed, same thing, has kale, pansies, there's a spring onion, and then these are rhubarb chard, and they're just a great filler for gardens. I don't eat a lot of them. It's fantastic sauteed with bacon, but they're just so pretty, just so happy, and pests really don't bother them. And then we've got the 2 pears. 1, 2. I let this one's doing great. It actually sent out branches where I wanted them. This one went a little too high, so I may have to cut it there in March and start over, but it will go rapidly fill that in. And then down here I have alternating Santolina and thyme and marigold, but again, Santolina, thyme, Santolina. It's my little shelf for when I'm hardening off spring seedlings, and my blueberry bed. And that's the vegetable garden. So here we are in the upper garden. You can see it's time to do some work on some of my pots, but I'll get to it. The little fountain that cracked is right here. I'm gonna replace that with something next spring, something bigger, better, and I will reuse the bowl underneath here as a planter. It'll look really pretty. Some bright petunias or something, begonias. So we have a really happy clematis right there. I'm very happy about that guy. Got our viburnums, limelight hydrangeas, arborvitae. We've got some sunny roses. They're knockout type, so they're supposed to be self-cleaning. I do once in a while come and whack it back, and it'll send out a new flush. Behind that is some very tired verbena, and it just repeats on this border here. And then we've got dogwood Arctic Fire, which are these red sticks, and this beautiful cedar. And so you can view the cedar and the grasses in the winter. It's really interesting. Changes completely because it's all covered with leaves in the spring and summer. So you don't really see the grasses and the tree behind it. So it gives you some nice winter interest. This is a huge artemisia. And we've got some more zinnias that I come and cut and put in vases. They're looking pretty tired. We got a big rose. A lot of these plants went dormant in July and August because it was so hot. And so they dropped leaves, and now, as you can see, like the rose is like, oh, is it spring? It's put on new growth and new leaves and new flowers. Some periwinkles or vinca. And this is a contorted filbert. He's growing slow. I wish he'd grow a little faster, but that's all right. And we got the hibiscus in the back, that's done. Another rose. Look at these zinnias. Red. And then we got some dwarf, aren't they cute? And so that's another zinnia bed. I want to turn around here. So we have our third and final blood good Japanese maple. And you can see this bed here. This one's from our original house. This one we purchased. This bed's gonna make like a boomerang shape. And then that'll be the maples. They'll be nice and shady someday. Maybe 10 years. We'll see. They're not the fastest growing of trees, but they're very beautiful. One of my favorites. So here we are on the border. Arborvitaes of different sizes. We've got a 9-bark here, Little Devil. And this is sedum, Autumn Joy. And a big boxwood. And that repeats over here. And that is the upper garden. And then along the deck, there are limelight hydrangeas and fire chief arborvitae. And we've got 3 weigelas. They have beautiful pink flowers with the dark red foliage, which is now kind of pooping out. They're gonna drop leaves and be sticks for winter. And then we've got some lamb's ear there. It looks beautiful in the spring and summer. But you can see there's a lot of dead leafing in there, but new leaves. And that again is from all that heat. We do have all of this on drip irrigation, but it just was so much. Too much for them. And then we have the Girl with Bowls garden. The Girl with Bowls statue, she's a new addition. I call her Charlotte. She's holding some birdseed. She's based on the statue that is in the movie Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. If you've seen that, it's been a while since I've seen it, but it's in there. But I liked her just because she could hold some birdseed and then be surrounded by some beautiful peach roses and sedums and vinca and some dahlias. The dahlias I'm gonna dig and move. This is all under cardboard for the winter, and then I'll have dahlias here and we'll move this somewhere, and then a little border of lavender, and then we'll repeat over here as well. And then lastly is the border garden in front of the veggie garden. A variety of lavenders. This is Munstead and Hidcote and boxwood behind there. Here's a big rosemary and our little bunny. We like bunnies. And then it just kind of repeats over here, although I've added then for height a D-Runk boxwood and a golden something, I can't remember, an arborvitae. And then we have a bunch of little lime hydrangeas, which I would like to add. So here's another cardboard bed. It's been sitting under since spring, so it will be ready to plant next spring. I've already got some spirea to put in and 2 peach trees, but I would like to continue these limelights all the way around and then move that bench out front and more there. And then there's the holly. And then as Quincy and I go down to the lower garden, we pass through this arch. It's called a Nicole Arch from Gardenary.com. And we have Carolina jasmine growing on it. One side's happier than the other, that's all right. They're new babies, planted this spring, and the frost bit them a little bit in the springtime. And one bounced back a little bit better than the other, but next year it's gonna be insane and has beautiful, wonderful fragrance. And then we have the bench to sit and look at the garden. Behind it we have a white Causa dogwood. And he's going to sleep. And then we have a variety, as you walk through the arch, of grasses and perennials, and a few little trees for the birds and the pollinators. And here we have another cardboard bed. And this little Sergeant crab apple gets 6 to 10 feet tall. I'm very excited about that guy. And there are a few evergreen type things, like this is a holly, and those are boxwoods there. And the boxwoods will make a kind of a tall curve behind the dogwood. I'm excited about that. One day that'll fill in really nice. And you can see another D-Runk boxwood there. And then more limelight hydrangeas. So these sedum here in front are moving. And then I would like to fill this whole space with just a bunch of limelights. And I'm not sure what's going here yet. Something, I don't know. A weeping cherry. And that will have, excuse the sun, that will have a boxwood arch in front of it. And then as we go down, we've got some Karl Forster grasses, some alyssum, some salvia. There's some gladiolas, yarrow, sedum. There was echinacea in there. That's all done for the season, although here's some black-eyed Susan and a daisy trying to poke their heads up. This is a red smoke tree. Another small tree, it's about 10 feet tall. And then we've got some arrowwood viburnum and monarda and a baby blue spruce behind the chair and some dahlias that I started from seed. Doing all right. These ones are red. Very pretty. Very pretty. And then these are Chicago luster viburnums. This one's really happy. I expect they're gonna have a big burst next year. We got some catmint, yarrow, this other evergreen tree. I can't remember the name of it, but it was sold as a Christmas tree. This grass is gonna have to get cut back. Monarda, back to the arrowwood kind of repeats. And then another little heavy butterfly area, so it has sage and verbena and yarrow and sedum and butterfly bush, a little wee small one right there. Little birdhouse, a little bee house, a butterfly bush here in the end, and a lilac here. And then this is the redbud tree circle. I'm gonna rework it so you see like there's a good hedge of sedum, and I'm gonna pull from around the property and make a full circle around it of the sedum. But there's also Russian sage, there's veronica, there's one small hydrangea. I'll probably move that. But it was kind of a plop garden for me. I was just plopping things here and there. And then we have back to the garden border. So that's the lower garden, but it's always a work in progress. Always very exciting. Bennett, handsome boy. Have a beautiful November.